What's up guys, and welcome to Drive Steady. In this video we're going to review the refreshed 2020 Audi Q7 and how it shakes out against the competition from BMW and Mercedes. The second generation Audi Q7, which is Audi's full-size SUV, has been in production since 2015 and it has now received a refresh for the upcoming 2020 model. This is not a full redesign of the Q7, just a refresh, which is what manufacturers typically do to keep their buyers interested in their cars throughout its entire life cycle. With this refresh, the Q7 actually gets a whole lot of interior and exterior updates. Let's get into covering them in a little bit of detail. Starting with the exterior, the Q7 received a revised grille that resembles the new Q8. Here's a comparison of the pre-facelift Q7 and the new refreshed one. I have to admit that the new face or front of the refresh looks quite good. Audi has also updated the headlights up front and is now going to offer an optional matrix LED laser light technology. This is following suit to what BMW is doing with their laser light headlights. Audi does a good job with headlights as they are basically the pioneer of these LED lights. I remember several years back they were the first ones to come on the scene with these LED headlights. However, I feel that the BMW design looks better this time around. Moving to the rear, Audi has redesigned the taillights to match its more current design language from the new A6 and the A7. A chrome strip of material is added to accent the headlight, which I think highly resembles the BMW 7 Series design. And here's a picture of a 7 Series so you can see what I'm talking about. Nonetheless, I think it blends in well. I would be interested to see how that chrome strip would look in black. The final item, and an interesting one related to the exterior, is that the Q7 has grown 0.4 inches in length. I'm not really sure how that is calculated or where that's coming from versus the pre-facelift, but it's interesting because typically the car's dimensions don't change as a result of a facelift. Next, moving to the suspension changes, and basically underneath the Q7, Audi has made magnetic active roll stability feature as an option for the refresh. What this does is it reduces body movements on uneven roads, and it also tends to reduce body roll when taking a turn. Overall, it improves the stability of the vehicle. All-wheel steering is also now an option. This is a really cool technology, and basically what it is all four wheels steer when you're driving, and it is to help aid in turning radius and increase stability. With the Q7, the rear wheels can turn up to 5 degrees in the opposite direction at low speeds, and on the highway they steer slightly in the same direction. Of course, this being a big luxury SUV from Audi, the Q7 will come standard with the infamous Audi Quattro all-wheel drive system and adaptive air suspension as standard. When you look at the improvements with the active stability bars and the rear wheel steering and pairing those up with the Quattro and air suspension, I'm sure the refreshed Q7 will be a more comfortable but sporty feeling ride compared to the outgoing model. Next, we move to the engine. Audi hasn't released any news related to the North American market. However, for Europe, all the engines in the Q7 are mated to the fantastic 8-speed Tiptronic transmission, and a choice of 2 diesel engines will be available during its launch, and eventually a gasoline engine along with a plug-in hybrid will also be available. The diesel engines get a 48-volt hybrid system new for this refresh model, which should improve on gas efficiency. I'm sure the North American market will get the 2-liter and the 3-liter gas engines as it does today, along with the hybrid and possibility of 1 diesel engine. Now moving to the interior, which I typically pay the most attention to when I evaluate a refresh on if it's worth it or not for a buyer. And I'm glad to see that the most significant changes are in the interior. One of the things the general population likes about Audi are their interiors, and they have improved upon the already great interior of the Q7 with some technology. Along with offering the Audi Virtual Cockpit, the Q7 also gets 2 additional screens for the infotainment, or MMI as Audi calls it, and all the climate control functions, which essentially gets rid of the central control knob. I'm really glad to see Audi move towards this design with the two-screen setup and get rid of the central control knob, as their older cars, when referencing the tablet style screen or the MMI, it kind of stuck up in the dash and it wasn't a very pleasing design. It kind of didn't flow well as far as the dash went. So moving to this two-screen setup I think is a great design improvement. Both of the screens are touchscreens and offer haptic and acoustic feedback, much like your smartphone. Here are the comparisons of the old design and the new one so you can see what I was referencing with that tablet style screen sticking up. It would be hard to argue against the new design as it looks much better and up to date with today's modern technology. On the interior you can option ambient lighting, 4-zone climate control, and an upgraded Bang & Olufsen 3D sound system as well. Touching on that new MMI software, it also receives a soft update in and of itself. The Q7 now has LTE advanced connectivity, a Wi-Fi hotspot, voice control, and even integration with Amazon's Alexa. Lastly, and probably most interesting, is the Car2X technology, which basically connects your car to other cars on the road along with infrastructure around you such as stoplights and speed limit cameras. This is beyond cool, and Audi is claiming that the car can receive updates from a central server, things like traffic conditions and or driving behaviors of others, and from there the car makes a recommendation to the driver. The whole idea is to create a predictive and efficient driving experience that will improve the flow of traffic. It's amazing the amount of technology that these cars are coming with now. Long gone are the days where car companies like Audi and Mercedes and Toyota are just car companies. They are now innovators in technology. They are technology companies delivering solutions to help issues related to infrastructure all over the world. I think this is why Ford changed their future strategy on cars and decided to move in a similar direction. As far as availability goes, the Q7 is going to launch in Europe in the middle of September. A North American release has not been scheduled yet, but I anticipate it will be towards the end of 2019 or sometime in the first quarter of 2020. Pricing information has also not been provided. However, there is no expectation that a significant price bump will come with this refresh. For reference, the base 2019 Audi Q7 starts at $54,545 with a 2-liter engine configuration. Now, how does this refreshed Audi Q7 compare to some of its competitors like the BMW X7 and the Mercedes GLS? Well, from a styling perspective, our opinion is that we still believe that the redesigned GLS looks the best of the three, followed by the X7 and then the Audi. From a performance standpoint, the engines in the Q7 are still the same engines from before, and they're a little antiquated compared to the X7 and the GLS, which come with wonderful straight 6 and V8 engines pumping out great performance. Overall, I think Audi did a great job with this refresh. It will continue to sell well. However, this being a refresh, I see it more of a band-aid till the new generation of the Q7 is out. The X7 and the GLS are completely new designs and architectures, and I don't think it would be fair for the older generation Q7 to be compared to a newly developed SUV. In conclusion, the Q7 continues to serve the SUV crazed market well with this refresh. It looks handsome and brings new technology and styling into the current generation, allowing it to at least compete with some of its competitors like the X7 and the GLS, and even more so now that BMW and Mercedes have put 3-row seats in their X5 and GLE models. If you're not interested in full-size SUVs that we've been mentioning throughout this video like the Q7 and the X7, or if you're also considering a mid-size SUV, check out our comparison video between the new X5 and completely redesigned GLE in the description below. And with that, we're at the end of this video. Thanks for watching. Until next time, drive steady.